Hey, it's the Midnight Raven, and today's ghost story is the Torment of Calvados. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am the Midnight Raven. I've been doing short ghost stories for a while, plus many other videos. If you like what you see, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. And without any further ado, let's get into the Torment of Calvados story. So, diaries written by a French aristocrat in a gloomy medieval castle in Normandy tell the story of a violent haunting known as the Mr. X. He had recorded vivid details about events that turned this house into a nightmare in 1875. One night, everybody in the Calvados castle had settled in for night, but they were later disturbed by a wailing ghost noise and weeping, sounding like someone crying. The noises were heard by everybody in the house. After several nights of these noises, Mr. X decided to tie tiny threads to be strung across every entrance to the castle in hopes of finding out that in the morning the threads would be broken, proving the existence of something going round the castle. So the next morning they checked the threads, but they were all intact. So the forces existed within the castle and were not coming from the outside. On the 13th of October 1875, Mr. X decided to start a diary to account for all the ghostly or weird going-ons or paranormal that he couldn't explain. So that night, their son's tutor was alone in his room when he heard sharp little raps on the wall. A candlestick was sitting on a mantelpiece and seemed to rise off the mantel. The son's tutor was stricken with terror, and Mr. X, who found not only the candlestick had moved, but a chair within that room had also seemed to move across the floor. The next few days there would be more occurrences with pounding on the walls, noises with no explanation. Mr. X recorded in his diary there was also stamping within the stairs, and loud bangs and crashes could be heard in other rooms within the castle. Everybody was told to assemble in the hall at around 3 a.m., where the noises continued and then finally stopped. The next night, everyone was awoken again by what sounded like a body rolling down a flight of stairs. This noise then continued for the next few nights until the 10th of November, when a loud shriek and a woman calling for help could be heard at around 1:45 a.m. Loud cries were heard from the staircase, heavy furniture seemed to be moving, and no explanation for any of this was still found. Mr. X's wife had started to be covered in bruises. As day went by, bruises would be found around her elbows and around her wrists. She would also find bruises on her sides as well. The loud noises in the house, the knocking, the constant banging, the wailing, the screaming continued, with still no explanation. The next year brought fresh terror when knocking noises and demonic laughter then started to be heard. At this point, I would have moved out. I don't know about you, but I would have gone. So the family had had enough, you think. By the end of the year, all these demonic noises, sounds, the banging, the bruises, the sleepless nights was enough. The family then decided they were going to call a priest to perform an exorcism. They didn't know if there was a spirit in the house, a ghost, a demon, but Mr. X and his wife had had enough. They wanted to stay in the castle, but they were not prepared to be terrified and tortured for the rest of their lives. So they would perform an exorcism on the house, and it was apparently very effective. The demonic events that had happened seemed to have slowed down and then come to a stop. The ghosts that tormented the Calvados family was never quite finished. Although shortly after the exorcism, all religious relics had disappeared from the house and could not be found. The next day, the lady of the house was sitting at her desk. An unseen hand dropped the relic one by one on the desk. There was a short burst of violence and then silence. Here endeth the story. So I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit of ghosty story there. Ooh. If you want to like and subscribe and give us a big thumbs up, I hope you enjoyed the Torment of Calvados. Let me know if you've ever had any demonic, strange. Have you ever witnessed an exorcism? Have you ever been a part of an exorcism? Who knows? People have funny hobbies. But this is a really cool ghost story. I like the fact that it was kind of, oh, there's a ghost in the house. Let's perform an exorcism. And then all of the religious artifacts disappeared and then started dropping on the table days later, proving that even an exorcism wasn't taking this castle away from this ghost. But if you want to like, subscribe, and give us a big thumbs up, let me know what you thought of this ghost story. I have many, many more to come. If you're liking these stories, consider a donation to PayPal. It's currently the only way I can be donated to. Like and subscribe. Share this out to all your people that like a bit of spook. And I will see you all very soon for another spooktastic video. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye, guys.